I think playing devil's advocate. I think these are
Devil's
all just
advocate,
fair
or
points to bring up.
are you handing out moral trophies here, moral victories? That's what it sounds
No,
like.
who am I handing a moral victory to?
Well, to
Nobody.
France, you're saying that any other
No,
day that they
no.
would have won the
France
game.
deserved no trophies, no moral trophies. They deserved just a lump of coal. They sucked. But I'm just saying that I also don't think that Spain.
What,
I'm just pointing out that like if you're gonna say the Netherlands are the reason that England looked better, but I think maybe you can say that about France and Spain too.
I don't know. I've watched every France game in this tournament and I haven't walked away impressed with any of them.
Well,
First, I
that's what
had
I
to,
mean.
but yeah, but now, so no exception in the semifinal, the game where they had to step up the most. They were still just a team that I didn't feel threatened at all, even when they
Well,
went
that's
up
my
1-0.
point. That's my
Yeah,
point is that Spain didn't have.
but it wasn't
It's
like
not like
all
they
of a
were playing
sudden.
this. It sounded like Spain were playing this great opponent. Is my point.
Right. Yeah, yeah, okay. But I mean, throughout this tournament, I had to accept from others this argument that Mbappe is hugely uncomfortable because of the face mask. Well, that was off in the semifinal, and he was still nowhere to be seen.
Okay, come on.
Um,
Nowhere to be seen is harsh. I think it was his finishing that was pretty much the problem. He did set up the first goal. He did have some. Look, I don't. I agree with you. I think Mbappe had a bad tournament, so I don't really want to get into it or to actually defend him. I'm just saying that Spain didn't face the best version of France or Mbappe in this tournament.
mm.
That's all.
And what I found, the parallels between England and France, and again, on paper, on the PlayStation, these are the teams that you would want to play with because they've got
Yes.
some very talented players. That, however, if you compare the superstars of each team, Mbappe on one, you have to also question Bellingham on the other because there was nothing from Bellingham in this entire tournament besides obviously the bicycle winning goal, the bicycle kick goal. Am I saying that? The bicycle kick winning
He
goal.
scored in the opening game too.
But throughout this tournament, it hasn't been a tournament that where you would have expected Bellingham to kind of put his name on the international map, or at least for his country. It's been a far cry from what we have seen during his first season with Real Madrid, and I was trying to understand exactly, why that is. Is he with Madrid just surrounded by players that understand him better? He's obviously a player that knows how. He's good. He knows how to position himself. He's a player that is lethal within the box, but when it comes to playmaking, when it comes to general assisting his teammates throughout this tournament, he's just been again a far cry from what we have grown used to from him throughout this season with Real Madrid. And again, I don't really know. Is that Southgate's problem? Is it Bellingham and the players that he is surrounded with? Like, where do you pin that down to? And the same, I guess, goes for Mbappe. Like, it's just not impressive from these quote unquote superstars.
I'll give you my take. I think the Bellingham thing is that first of all, I don't believe he's as bad as some people made him out to be. I think he's been fine. I think him and Saka are really the only ones who are trying to take players on and make things happen in
Yeah, but
England. Bellingham,
he can't get away from anyone, Kian. You can't say he was fine. He was definitely not. Like, he was subpar from, again, the standard that he put, the bar that he set for himself for this season. We didn't see that this
I'm
time.
not arguing that he's been below his own standards. I think
Mm,
he set the bar really high for himself, and he's not meeting that. The second thing is we were never supposed to measure this guy in goals anyway. The
mm.
goals have
No,
been
no.
the, but so just because some people I know do that, like if he doesn't score, they're like, you went missing. He has a lot of tasks and responsibilities on the field, and it involves controlling the tempo. It involves a lot of defensive work. It involves taking players on. Sometimes those are successful. Sometimes those have not been. I think when I watch him play, he also looks like he's breathing heavily every time the camera pans on him. He's just like he looks like he's gassed, but I don't really know. But I also think Southgate ball is a complete mess. And I
Mm,
think I'm just in the cases of pretty much Mbappe and Bellingham. I'm excited for these guys to just breathe a little bit and have a break. I think
Yeah.
in
Right.
Mbappe's case, you go this. I trace this all the way back to the beginning of PSG season when they exiled him from the team. He was training with the youth team players for
Yeah.
however long it was to begin the season, which was bullshit.
Mhm.
Uh, I know you laughed at my Instagram story about how Kylian Mbappe and Keon Savani. I don't know if you actually clicked and read it or not.
I didn't. I didn't. So
Okay.
I had to
The
laugh at
so
that.
basically the joke is that when I was 17, I broke my nose playing football and I had to wear a mask and it was terrible. Like your line of vision and like your fear of going into challenges, like everything, it totally fucks you up mentally. Um, but I think like the only time I thought Mbappe had real help in this tournament offensively was those few minutes that Barcola was on the field.
Hmm.
Uh, Dembele was pretty bad against Spain. Uh, as soon as when Barco and there were so like France had like a bunch of great players on the bench who they could have used much sooner. Griezmann was amazing in the World Cup when he was playing center mid. All of a sudden, Deschamps abandoned that. I don't know for what reason. He didn't even start this game. Camavinga was on the bench. Camavinga was one of their biggest game changers in general in the past couple of years or so off the bench. Uh, Barcola, he played in that group stage game. That was the first time, like that was like one of the only times in the tournament where they actually were a threat offensively. He came in against Spain and immediately unlocked two opportunities for Mbappe. So I just think that it's been underwhelming from a lot of stars. I also think they're not to victimize them too much, but I think they are not being benefited from the systems they're in. So there's my explanation, I guess. And I also think that uh, look, I don't think I genuinely don't believe Bellingham's been as bad as some people have made it out to be. I think he's been working his ass off, and I think he's trying to take players on. He's trying to make things work, and the system is a mess. And he doesn't like who is he feeding the ball into the box to? There's nobody there. Like he's not even like the shots he's taking and stuff. They're closed down by 3 or 4 players in the box. There's no one else really
I don't know.
open. Like yeah,
I think I get why you're looking for excuses, but I think like for example, Foden had a great game and he was good.
Fode, that was the first time he's looked good all tournament, and he was not an
Mm.
efficient player. Like I don't like. I get he was
Yesterday, he was
better.
like the best for England, I would say.
Yeah, well, it's a low bar. I think Saka's been their best player overall in the tournament. Foden, by the way, is another victim of the system. Like him and Bellingham basically have the same role in this team, which I think it's not working.
Hmm. But that's why I would compare them to Foden because they play so closely to each other. Whereas Foden, at least in this last game, yeah, managed to meet the expectations of that he set for people of him. But